Hello and welcome to the first of several Sword Coast Legends videos I'll be making this weekend. My Sword Coast forum name is Winter. I'm the founder of the Mythweavers guild in Neverwinter Online, a guild which I've stepped down from leading but is still going strong. It's one of the oldest guilds still around, created on the first day and in the first couple of hours that the game was released to the founders of Neverwinter Online. It's almost certainly the biggest and longest running roleplay guild there, and possibly one of the longest running guilds of any sort. This set of videos is purely Sword Coast Legends and mainly focusing on content creation, which is my passion. I'm actually going to start outside the game because I think it's important to have an idea of what you want to create before you jump into the tools. Certainly later on, if you're just having a play, fine, but if you want to create a coherent plot, it can be useful to write stuff down outside. And I'm in fact going to start by talking about the guild's roleplay and content creation wiki, which we have recently stood up, still in alpha testing. It's available at mythweavers.org/w. Anyone can sign up and add to it as long as they verify their email address, although content is monitored and deleted if inappropriate, obviously. So the wiki is very similar to, say, Wikipedia, but it has a number of extra features. One of them is this. It's a graph which shows pages as nodes and links between them, and you can navigate around this graph to help build visual context. So you see here, I've got the page I started with, and now I've elaborated the links into the guild page of Mythweavers. It's got a bunch of characters, which are these icons here. It's got story event. It's got just an event, so a story is a set of events, and so on and so forth. The locations linked out from it. And the idea of this wiki is A, to help with content creation and sharing content and building up ideas of how to make good content and linking with each other's content, but also it's to help role players build up the links between their characters and other characters. They're very much in the ethos of the guild. To create content on the wiki, you need to start by creating your user page, which will be the top right. That'll start as a red link the first time you're on a wiki, and when you go there, it will bring you up a little form. Here you can indicate your preferred role in the game, so in Sword Coast Legends, DM or player, your time zone. Eventually there will be a group or player finding service inside the wiki, your preferred game style, contact details, a little bit of biography about yourself. So when you save that, it'll take you to your player page, and this will bring back details of most of the things you have created. So player pages and player character pages are locked down to you. Only you can edit them. Most other pages on the wiki anyone can edit. So you see here, this detail is not generated by me manually typing it in. It's generated automatically by the wiki. When I enter a player character with a form, I add the information in a certain way, and these tables are populated. And you'll see this now as I create my first module. So this module is going to be called Little Lost Lands. So I want to do a module that's very simple, just demonstrating the use of the wiki and the tools. I click that button, and it brings up a form. So I'm recreating something I created before, so it's got a little warning up there about the page being deleted. You'll see here it's got a number of fields, and if I click on them, it populates things, the boxes with supporting cast. So here, that's not too useful because I haven't added any supporting cast. Those are NPCs, so characters who are not player characters. It's got featured organizations, so you can create links between the module and organizations. So if I'd added, say, the Zentrim here, and I had a module focusing on the Zentrim, I could add a link in there. Locations, I haven't added all of the locations from the Forgotten Realms, clearly, but I've got a few locations, and this is going to be set near the Lurkwood. And you'll see you can set multiple things here, so I could have it set near the Lurkwood and an Auroch, but I'm not going to have that. There are no related stories I've added. The module style, it's going to be primarily a story module, but also have quite a lot of combat. If you're creating a module for Neverwinter Online, you will have a unique code which you can use to search for the module. In Sword Coast Legends, that isn't the case. So The ID which you'll find this for is just going to be Little Lost Lambs. And I've written the summary description out. This field, the summary field, is brought back in queries, so you can read it from other pages. So you'll see the module is going to be about the characters encountering a small tribe of Uthgardt, finding that the tribe's children, I will change that to make it a little more clear, have been stolen away by, in fact, forced slaves by bandits. I'll just say by slavers. The characters follow the tracks and eventually find the bandits dead and the children missing. So the idea of this is, in my mind, I would like to have a situation where if the characters waste too much time, they get there too late to rescue the children. Sadly, you cannot create triggers at the moment in Sword Coast Legends, which ties my hands there. So the default will be the characters successfully rescue some of the children. If they're playing with a dungeon master, so someone has adopted the DM role, the DM role could say, you've taken all the time to hunt down every living creature and slay it for XP, therefore you get there too late to save any of the children. And depending on the kind of player group they may or may not care about the wasted lives of innocent children. So I'll save that. Form will tick around, and you see it's brought back the module now. Here. So one thing you want to do is have a lot of tabs open when working with a wiki. But right now I'm going to add some supporting cast. Supporting cast, as I said, NPCs. There are a bunch of supporting cast already in there. You'll see it's got the summaries. It says adventuring group there. What that actually is going to be is who added them. Not sure what it says, adventuring group. Well, that's a mystery for another time. But you'll see here, it brings back the characters I've already added, or other people have already added. For the moment, I'm going to add a new character. So in my Uthgardt tribe, it's got to have a leader, and my leader is going to be called Sabash the Wolf. So the original character is by me. I don't have a portrait yet. I haven't taken a screenshot from the game. Sabash is a human. His home, well, the Uthgardt wander around, but his home for these purposes is near the Lurkwood. He's not in an adventuring group. Doesn't have any enemies or allies. Enemies and allies are other NPCs. Now, he might have some later, but at the moment I haven't added them into the wiki, so they're not there. What you can do is you can build things up over time, so I can create my 3 or 4 NPCs at this stage and then build up links between them. So Sabash is the most experienced hunter of the Planestalker tribe. There are a lot of defined Uthgardt tribes, and sadly many of the obvious names are gone, so I've just ended up with the generic name of Planestalkers. And his daughter Peony is amongst the kidnapped children. I've also noted that he's a high priest, so I'll save and add him. And you'll see for each page, there's a red link there because I haven't added the portrait. That'll go away. It's a prompt to remind me to add a portrait. He's linked to a location. It shows that I'm the user that created him, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to add another NPC, and this NPC is going to be called Herkin. Again, original character by me, no portrait added yet. Herkin's a human, a variant human, for why not? Also near the Lurkwood. Well, I know now he's got an ally, because he's got an ally who is Sabash the Wolf. I'll add that in. He hasn't got any enemies. And so Herkin is an ancient and toothless man, and one of the small minor quests is going to be Herkin wanders off into the wilderness to die and sort of being a burden onto his tribe, and the characters can go and find him and then report back as to what happened to him. You'll notice I'm just opening the form for adding supporting cast here each time, rather than clicking through. Next, I'm creating an NPC called Jara. She's a human, home in the Lurkwood. She's Samash the Wolf's wife. She's also a good friend of Herkin. You'll see they pop up automatically when they're added. So Samash the Wolf will give the quest to go and find the children. Jara would be more bitter and vengeful, and will give a quest to brutally slay everyone who stole her children away. The tribe's children as well. And the last NPC I'm going to add at this stage is Peony, chosen of the Planestalker. So the tribe is called Tribe of the Planestalker. I'm avoiding punctuation in the names because punctuation does not work great. Does not work great, does not work very well in the MediaWiki format. It confuses things. Again, no portrait. She is a chosen, so the options here are very limited. They're specific to 5e races, which have been defined officially by wizards, including in Unearthed Arcana. But because I'm aware there are people who like to play half angel, half vampire, half demon, all unique snowflake type characters, there are two options for specials, which are Unique Snowflake and Velociraptor. So she is a unique snowflake because she is chosen by a god. Her home is the Lurkwood. Her ally as well, she's linked to her father, Savash. She's linked to her mother, Jara. Not so much linked to Herkin. Yeah, he's an old man, she's a young child. So that bit there, I don't think that's summary related, that's biography related. And since that's actually kind of a current thing rather than a biography thing, I'm going to add Peony is kidnapped by slavers and then stolen away by something far, because the extra far makes much more emphasis. It's serious business. Something far, far worse. So now I've got my NPCs in. I'm going to go back quickly. I can add in the allies for Sabash now, so he knows Herkin, he knows Jara, he knows his daughter. Save that. Herkin doesn't really know Peony, as I said, but he definitely knows Jara. And Jara already has Herkin and Sabash, but I'm going to add in Peony. There we go, Peony chosen. Right, so that's my NPC set up. So now I'll go back to my module. And I can say features supporting cast. Well, it features Herkin, Jara, Peony, chosen the Planestalker, and Sabash the Wolf. So I'm going to save that. Alright, so here we have the graph, which shows as nodes the people and the one location currently of interest, which is where the module is set. Again, linked to my user page, and the lines indicate the direction of the links. So Little Lost Lamb has a link to Herkin. The information that says the two are linked to the module to the supporting cast is contained in the Little Lost Lamb page, so the link is there. Whereas the reason this link is green, two-way link, is because Little Lost Lamb, it has me as the author, you'll see up there on the top right, but also on my user page, I've specified that I've created this module. So it's an information management thing, but if you wonder about the link directions, that's why on the chart. I doubt very much anyone will. So now I want to add some module areas. When I was considering this system for helping plan, I had a very selfish motivation actually, which is I wanted to plan content and create it, but I have no way of doing that when I'm traveling in my lunch half hour at work and so on. By creating a tool which would help me gather my thoughts quite logically and in quite a structured way, I thought the wiki would assist me with trying to be creative on the go. Hence, there's quite a lot of stuff to do in the wiki, but then it makes life a bit easier later. And one of the things to do is when you've got your module idea, which is the overall description of what happens in the module, then certainly in the Neverwinter Online Foundry and the Sword Coast Legends editor, you create a set of locations. So the first thing to say, I suppose, is that there is a structure to creating stories which varies from person to person. I like to start at the end and work backwards when doing this kind of thing, because that way I know what I need to include to enable later things. So for example, if I want to have my final conflict in a mine and the players have to find the mine and do a quest to find where the mine is, by deciding that I put the mine first, I know that I need to put the infrastructure in for them discovering it later, except later when the players experience it is chronologically beforehand. So my process is perhaps a little reversed in that I start at the end, and that is how the wiki works, but it won't make a huge difference because you can edit things as you go. But I'm going to start with deciding what has stolen away the children. What's stolen away the children is going to be some ogres, and this is going to be the ogre lair. But before I decide exactly where it is, I want to know a suitable place. So Lurk was up here. That's just in a barren area. We'll have the ogres of Evermore. There we go. The ogres of the Evermores. And it's going to be an ogre lair south. That's going to be where the climactic final battle is, where the characters rush in and they try to rescue what's left of the children. So the ogre lair is going to be in some caves. I can't remember offhand what is available in Sword Coast Legends, but they're going to be in some caves. See here, there is a field for following module areas. Because I'm working backwards, when I create the location that comes before this final location will already exist, and then I can link the location before this to this location. It will make more sense when I get to it. There is tension level. So one of the things I like to bear in mind when designing content is you have control over the tension through the difficulty of the fights, and if you're actively controlling it as DM through hostility, through the tempo you keep, do you let the players take their time, or do you force them on with events and so on and so forth? So a climactic final battle, that's probably going to be a tension 5 thing. So the higher the number, the more tension there is. So the summary of this ogre lair is so that's the summary of what the location is. And the notes are finale, tough fight with ogres, many dead slavers and Uthgard children. Don't think you can actually do dead children in the engine, so there'll just be some skeletons with some sort of flavor text. I'll put it in somehow. Right, so I've got my ultimate, my final module area there. So ogre lair south of the Mirkwood. I'm going to have approach to the ogre lair. Or in fact, this is going to be called the finding the ogre lair. The players are going to find some tracks and hunt them down. So you see that's tension level 5 because it's a finale. Because I've already entered the actual finale, I can now choose it. The map used, this is going to be a forest map. Can't remember the names of the forest maps either. It's not going to be Forest A. Forest A is pretty small. It'll be a different forest, but I don't know. And this is going to be quite tense. So this is going to be forest area with ogre tracks, dead skeletons, and it's I was going to say that's a complete unnecessary term there, dead skeletons, as if they're going to be alive. I suppose they could be undead. Skeletons with gnawed bones and some ogre watchmen. Don't know if ogres would really have watchmen, but yeah, these have come up from the Evermoors. These are probably reasonably dangerous ogres. A few tough fights with ogre scouts and some tension building corpse discoveries. The idea here is they're going to discover their first skeleton. It's kind of a quest to investigate around it, and they'll use it, and they'll find out, oh, it's a child skeleton, not just an adult skeleton. So it's not just the slavers that have been killed. So before finding the ogre lair, they're going to have been to the slaver lair, because the slavers is where they initially go to try and find the children. So slaver hideout south. Oh, see the modular areas don't have the most imaginative names. This is an example after all, and we know which one comes after this. Finding the ogre lair comes after this. Grasslands. We'll say it's grasslands. This is going to be tension level 4. I should probably, because it's good to have an undulating tension level. I just made a hand gesture there, sort of a wave, and I'm not sure why, because obviously that's not going to come across. Summary, and this is the place where they find that children have already gone. Now, because slavers are weak humans, they're not going to find any dead ogres, but they are going to find some big footprints. So they won't know exactly what took the children from the slavers. So you see, because I've got this as tension level 4, I'm actually going to quickly pop back to finding the ogre lair. And I think, because they're expecting in the one with the dead slavers, they're expecting to find a fight. They're trying to find out what's going on, and they've got the surprise if they won't know exactly what's happened and why the children are gone and why the slavers are dead. So that's going to be quite tense. Tracking the ogres, and that's probably a little less tense. I'm going to drop that to 3 because you want the sort of undulating wave effect. Now, so I'll have finding the slaver lair as the next module. You see I've got this little naming convention. It'll do for now. So before finding the slaver lair, or rather following it, you've got the slaver hideout. This is going to be grasslands again. This isn't going to be very tense, to be quite honest. Probably tension 2. Tracking slavers through the grasslands. What else can they do here? There is also a plunder. We'll have like an attacked trading caravan. Suffered some casualties. So this is mainly going to be a little bit of a talky exercise. So I probably need to add another NPC there, because at the moment the only way to really add conversation is through quests, unless they change that this weekend. So I'm going to have another supporting cast, and I'm going to have... what's a good name? Bron. Bron the Merchant. I'm going to have that. I call it Brani the Merchant. Again, no species. Brani is actually going to be a halfling. She is a stout halfling. She is going to be from, why not, Baldur's Gate. She's not an adventurer though, she has no allies or enemies here. Brani is a merchant who sells lumber in the south and worked jewellery in the north. She has a small private caravan with several guards and is herself an accomplished duelist. To explain how her caravan survived, even against the slavers, and drove the slavers off. But, you know, who wouldn't go and stop slavers with children? A very selfish person. Marnie is only out for herself. Yeah, she does what there's profit for. I'll probably make her look like quite a bitch when I do her portrait. Right, so firstly, you'll see now, just by refreshing the page, I've got all these extra supporting cast things. Obviously they've got no pictures yet. And now if I go back to this module here, which was finding the slaver layer, I'm going to add Brani in here. Ooh, no, I don't do that. What I mean is I'm going to add Brani into the module. I didn't think there was much point in assigning NPCs to specific locations. Similar on the grounds, you'll almost certainly use them in multiple locations. It's kind of a waste of effort at that stage. So now I need the Plains Stalker encampment. This is my first module area. And I also heard legends that encampment... Wow, you know, you have one of those times when you can't remember how to spell a simple 10-letter word. So this happens before finding the slaver lair. Yeah, forest for this, you know, it's near the Lurkwood. They live in the Lurkwood. Tension level 1. Yeah, the players aren't tense when they get here and they just hear about the quest. This is just the encampment of the Plains Stalker tribe, which has and the plains has a central fire pit and totem. I'm not sure if there's a totem asset in Sword Coast Legends, but I hope so. Central fire pit totem, number of 10. So one of the reasons the children were so easy to steal for the slavers is no barricade around the Planestalker lands. So, see this finishes. Now if I go down and I check, you'll see that it's built up this graph here. And what I can actually do, for the sake of visualization, is I can drag this stuff out. See, like that. You'll see now, because I've linked the different locations, you'll see this links to finding the slaver lair, links to the slaver hideout, links to the finding the ogre lair, which leads to the ogre lair. You'll see there's a sort of a nice thing. You'll see there's little skulls next to each one. So that the skulls represent the ratcheting tension. So tension 1, tension 2, tension 4, tension 3, tension 5. That's how it goes. I am actually going to change finding the slaver lair to finding the slaver hideout on the grounds that I called it a slaver hideout later. So I'll just quickly move that page across. And there we go. So I will refresh this, make sure it's come out okay. And there we go. So now I have my structure all plotted out. You'll see that because I moved to that page, I broke that link, which I will now quickly fix by editing it with a form. It's actually finding the slaver hideout. Alright, and with that level of detail, which is probably all I need to dive into the module creator, I will dive into the module creator in the next